Welcome back to the KickNPost YouTube channel and podcast with your hosts Amal and Matt. And welcome back to Teal and Steel episode 4. We've done 4 of these. Well, this is about to be the 4th one.
Feeling good.
Feeling good about it, right?
Yeah,
a little bit of
good.
consistency. It's been nice.
Every Tuesdays.
Every Tuesday.
It doesn't drop on
recording.
Tuesday. Yeah, we record on Tuesdays.
We've dropped on Friday. We've dropped on Thursday right before Thursday Night Football. We've dropped on Wednesday. We dropped Thursday morning.
Hey, all that work I have to put in to edit.
We'll find the day.
Yeah, that's tough.
But right now, we aim for before Sunday. So you should see us before Sunday.
Nah, shout out to Amal. He'd be the one doing all the editing and everything. So
This exporting is annoying. But let's hop into it. Pittsburgh played them Jet boys, Zach Wilson, the Cougar Hunter. Was an interesting game to say the least.
You already know after he grittied and he won,
Yeah,
he's definitely taking a mom home tonight.
Yeah,
Not tonight, but that night.
He definitely got some numbers in the book.
But
book from this one.
But overall, I mean, I got a lot of good things to say about my Steelers.
Really?
I do.
Don't be surprised about that, but
we took the L, and that's why I didn't want to bet on it. Because I figured something like this would happen.
Because you don't like your team, but it's all right.
Mitchell Trubisky was starting, and as everybody knows, from week 1, I wanted him to continue.
Yes.
But I did say last week, I do think it's Kenny time. I haven't seen enough from Mitchell Trubisky. At this point, I'd rather just see someone out there. Kenny Pickett, he looked all right, and a lot of people are going to say 3 picks. Let me just break it down for you. One of them was a Hail Mary, so that...
Yeah, you could throw that one out.
And then 2 other ones were tipped by his receivers. Now, I will say the one to Deontay was a little high.
It was Claypool.
There was one by Claypool that Claypool dropped.
I'm talking about the other one on the sideline?
There was one by Deontay that he was a little high, to be fair. But for his first start, to have one legitimate interception that was tipped by his receivers and his receiver had a shot at it, I mean, I'll take that. Because he went still for 10 for 13, for 80 yards. And the thing is he was slinging it. And he was trying. He had the confidence to go out there and throw it deep. As a Steelers fan, I think we can all agree, throwing it deep is something that we haven't done a whole lot of.
This is a fact.
We don't do a lot of... Claypool is supposed to be that guy, but he never seems to come down with them. Deontay, I mean, that one first game, he snagged it. I think he can be eventually at that point, but we don't do it a lot.
Deep third receiver, too.
George Pickens.
Yeah.
George Pickens, yeah. So, there's good things to say. George Pickens looked okay. He did have 6 catches for 100 yards. Really happy to see that. Deontay didn't really go off, but he did have a robbery of an interception taken away from him.
You mean a touchdown reception?
Yeah, touchdown.
Yeah.
So he grabbed that touchdown in the back of the end zone. I still think
it's so close to the line, but I'm leaning touchdown myself.
I'm leaning touchdown as well. I think maybe his toe, maybe that's what they saw. But I mean, if he would have grabbed that, he would have had a nice day. So I'm happy to see Kenny Pickett is now officially starting. That is breaking news from the Steelers this morning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's breaking news for us. But by the time you see this, probably isn't breaking news. It's been out a couple days. Probably isn't breaking news at that point. But yeah, I got nothing. I mean, I figured it would be a tough game. The Jets, with Zach Wilson coming back, I thought he might have been a little rusty, and I think he was a little bit, but he got in his groove pretty quick. Steelers' defense needs an improvement. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what's going on over there on the defensive side, but we're giving up points. Minka's still looking pretty good, but to be fair, with the offense looking so bad, I mean, what can your defense really do? I mean,
that's what I was going to lean on. It was they've let up a few points, but they're on the field a lot.
So if we can start elongating some of our drives, taking up some more of the clock, get that running game with Najee going a little better, and then you have somebody like Kenny Pickett. You have Kenny Pickett out there. Give him some easy play-action passes. Make it a little easier for him. I like to see what we have in the future. So I'm excited. But let's go over to your side. And I told you I wanted to get my free 5. I care about winning money, and I won money. Talk about your...
So I rode with my
Jags.
boys, and I will say, I am not disheartened by the performance. It's more of
close.
The weather and the fact that Trevor couldn't hold on to the ball. Now, I have an issue. I kept watching this man try to dry his hands. The whole game, trying to dry his hands. But he was wiping it on his jersey. That's also in
He didn't have a towel?
I didn't see it. He kept wiping it on his jersey. That's also wet. What was he accomplishing? Not much. 4 fumbles? 4? 4 fumbles, lost all of them. In really rough spots too. One, we went for it on 4th and 1. where it would be like trying a quarterback sneak, dropped it there, went for 4th and 3, kind of bootlegged out, wide open receiver, would have hit him for the first, dropped it there, got the ball back down 29-21, first play after getting the ball back, dropped it there, just worst timing on the worst side of the field also for all of these, and we still kept it within a possession. And we made Jalen Hurts look human. If you check the stats, interception, kept the rushing yards down to until like the second half. His rushing yards specifically was down quite a bit from what he usually does.
He did throw his first pick of the year, in my opinion. That was like, you shouldn't have thrown that.
Well, it hit the receiver's hands too. So,
but it was too tight of a window because right when the receiver got it, they had 2 defenders. Hands were like right in there anyways, so I wouldn't have thrown that. I mean,
obviously.
Obviously,
you wouldn't have.
Obviously, I can't throw that.
You know how
I'm just saying from looking at a quarterback perspective, I probably would say don't throw that. So, but he is human.
We made it look. I mean, they still ended up getting to 400 yards of offense, but it was like at the bare minimum. Most of the previous weeks were like
work for it.
401, 470, stuff like that. We made them work for it. We kept it within a possession. They didn't get to 30 points. For a team that I was projecting to only win 5 games, I'm still pretty confident that we'll do better than I projected by a decent amount. I still think we're AFC South champion type team because our division is not great. The Titans are picking up a little bit of momentum. The Colts still look a little bit rough. Houston is still Houston. I don't know what to make of them yet. They're in every game for about a quarter and a half, and then they just let it slip through their fingers.
I feel like it's back-to-back weeks now that they have let the game get out of hand.
Yeah.
And then they'll just start pass heavy and get it somewhat of a respectable score. But that's all they've really been able to do.
They're great garbage time, just like making it look like it was a game when it wasn't that much of a game.
Yeah.
So I still think we have the potential to be the winners of the AFC South. I am just still worried about how we utilize our weapons. Zay Jones was out this week. He should be back coming up. Christian Kirk didn't have the best day. But again, it was torrential downpour in Philadelphia. It was a horrible rain. Not as bad as like that Chicago Niners game earlier in the year, but it was pretty close.
And I mean, I just want to say, I mean, the fact that it was raining the way it was, and Philly is a run-heavy team, I mean, that's automatically going to put Philly a little bit over on the edge when it comes to the Jags. And y'all still made it very respectable. 4 turnovers compared to the Eagles, I think, only had just Jalen Hurts interception, and that was it. So the fact that y'all were down by 1 score, y'all had an opportunity at the end of the game. I think you have a lot of things to take away from that game. And going forward, I mean, I might get on that bandwagon if they're going to win that division. Because the Colts, I don't know what's going on over there. JT possibly hurt. Luckily, it doesn't seem to be a high ankle sprain. He might be playing this Thursday, which would be kind of crazy if he did. We knew it was going to happen. It was that one too.
We were going to lose one. It
was that one too.
Hey, it's an addition to the set. It's a work in progress. But we knew we were going to lose one. If we lose just one, though, it'll be a success. Hey. Anyway, you say JT, no high ankle sprain. If he plays this Thursday,
that'd be kind of crazy. I mean, as a fantasy owner, I would prefer him to just not.
Yeah. How about just chill?
Just let that man rest another week.
Let him, what's it called? Rice? Just rest, ice, compression, elevate.
Just let him relax.
Chill out. Do that.
I mean, I appreciate the effort, but I mean, we're all right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you said what you said about the Texans.
We played them this week.
They'll probably make it somewhat respectable, but we'll see.
Yeah.
The Titans did win last week. They beat the Colts.
Yeah.
But even them, I just don't see how they would be able to win too many games.
Treylon Burks might be out extended period of time. He got carted off in that game. So
and that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because other than that, I mean, Robert Woods is okay.
He's been balling the last 2 weeks. I was roasting about him getting out to the 10-yard line, limping. And since then, it's been wheels up.
But yeah, Robert Woods as your number 1. I mean, Derrick Henry is looking okay.
Yeah.
So that's good to see. Kyle Phillips looked okay. I mean, he's been kind of hurt. Fumbled both the games that he played. Past that.
You saw who caught a 20-yard pass this week?
Who?
Paris Campbell.
I was actually going to bring that up. He actually had a decent stat line. He had like 4 catches for 40 or something?
Yeah, and one of those catches was for 20 yards.
You going to pick him up now?
Nah. Oh, we about to lose another one. No. But yeah. Nah, still not picking him up. Never. I don't want to go out there with the Prize Picks lines yet, but I have something cooked up for Thursday. But we'll
let's
get into
that.
No, you want to hear it?
I'm ready to go to the next thing. Yeah, let's hear it.
Mo Alley Cox had 84 receiving yards last week.
Okay.
His line is at 17.5. I don't think JT will be healthy.
And even if he was, I'd imagine his workload would be low.
Yeah, kind of lower. So I think Michael Pittman is the one. I don't trust his line. His line is like 66.5 or something like that.
Why don't you trust his line?
It's a little bit too high.
I wouldn't. I would take that over, and I would feel
Patrick
comfortable.
Surtain.
They're playing Denver.
He's pretty legit. That's why I'm saying, like...
Ooh, no, you might be right there.
I would usually be like, yeah, wide receiver 1...
Patrick Surtain's been doing good.
I know. So, like, wide receiver 1, in an offense that's going to have to throw it, because even though we like to say Nyheim Hines is okay, they have another guy back there, I think named like Deion Carter or Deion something Kane, who would be the backup running back technically. They might sign Philip Lindsay off the practice squad. I don't know. Or get him back. I think they dropped him recently. I don't trust Michael Pittman against Patrick Surtain to get over 66.5 yards. I know it sounds weird.
No, it's not, because, just last week versus the Raiders, Devontae Adams had to go all over the field just to really get him the ball. He got the ball. He did. But if you look at the highlights and you look at the matchup, because I saw his matchup video, Patrick Surtain was right there with him on his hip every time.
Yeah, and he's a some big DB. He's like 6'2", and he's got speed and athleticism.
He took away a tutty from him too.
Yeah. So I don't know if I could.
I agree with you.
How Matt Ryan's playing. With how Matt Ryan's playing, in addition to Patrick Surtain on the other side, I was staying away from the Michael Pittman line.
I see that, but I still think that he might. If he travels the field a little bit, kind of does some motions.
He didn't get it last week.
He didn't. But he did. I think wasn't it just off an injury though? The week before that was an injury.
He was. Yeah, so he's just coming back from the quad. But it's a short week too. So like, how much recovery can he do in a 3-day span going into Thursday night?
I see what you're saying, but I see what you're saying. But if you like,
Michael Pittman, about money. This is about money.
I agree with you. But how you feel about your money. I wouldn't put picks on this game. I mean, neither offenses have looked good enough for me to be like, let me
give you the second one.
All right, let me hear the rest.
I got Mo Alley-Cox 17.5.
I don't love it.
I feel like that's a gimme. We'll see in a couple of days. I feel like that's a gimme. Jerry Jeudy 47.5
over
against the Colts.
Shoot, I hope so.
Over.
I hope so.
They have Cortland Sutton at 63.5. I'm not too big on the wide receiver 1 in this matchup. Also, I know Indy doesn't really have a lockdown DB necessarily, but I'm leaning towards Jerry Jeudy 47.5. I just feel like the type of routes he'll be able to run will benefit Russ's shoulder injury and not having to sling it as far. So I like yak ability with Jerry Jeudy. I like those two lines the best.
I mean, I'm an owner of Jerry Jeudy in one of my leagues, so I hope you're right. I hope he goes off. Would I put money on it?
No.
Probably not.
I don't feel like any of these you put money on.
I wouldn't put money on any of these guys. This is not... Both offenses have struggled. Why would I want to put money on this one?
Because sometimes you see the lines.
The Broncos kind of clicked a little bit last week. Unfortunately, they lost Javonte for the rest of the year.
Ooh, that's
unfortunate.
Yeah.
But past that, I mean, the Colts have looked a little iffy. Matt Ryan has been able to get a lot of second half points when it comes to fantasy. So maybe in a second half run, he maybe would get Mo Alley-Cox involved. I don't know. Somebody has to catch the ball. So it could be Mo Alley-Cox for sure. But I just don't love it.
They use quite a few tight ends as well.
Like Paris Campbell over.
I think his is at 20.5 or 23.5. Are you confident enough?
No. I told you I'm not confident in any of this.
He just had 40.
Then you do it. Why don't you do it?
For the memes, I might throw him in there as a third.
Because the thing is that somebody has to go off. Somebody has to do something.
Well, Pittman's still there.
Pittman is there. You're saying Pittman is going to be locked down by Pat Surtain. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Mo Alley-Cox. Other than, I think, last week, has he really done much this year?
He's had like a catch or two, but I don't know for how much.
You may want to bet for a catch or two?
I just feel with the way the offense is, I feel like they shifted to that type of offense because JT was out. Short passes, things that could get out really quick. Mo Alley's your guy. And I don't think JT's going to be healthy enough to be like...
Where's Nyheim Hines in receiving?
I haven't checked, but I feel like it's going to be significant.
Because if it's
what would be the max his line could be for you to still bet it?
15 to 20?
It's over that.
That's the highest I'd go.
If it's 15 yards, 15 to 20 yards,
yeah.
pretty sure it's 23.5. Something like that. I'd have to double check.
23.5. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't love it. If it was at like a 15, 16, 17, like in that range, I'd be like, okay, I can feel good about that.
So you're avoiding this game completely?
Yeah, I'm avoiding this game.
No price fix.
If you've gotten the vibe so far,
no price fix.
This isn't the one I'd go for.
Damn. Now I feel like...
Who's playing Sunday night?
I can't think of it.
Because I'd rather...
Cincy versus Baltimore. That's Sunday night.
Now, that's a game I'd go for.
Yeah. Me and Chris were talking about this earlier, too.
This
is the prize picks
Mark
game
Andrews
of the week.
Over. He just had a bad week. That's going to have a comeback week.
Mark Andrews over. I'm liking Bateman's over, too. It's probably going to be like 40.
Lamar Jackson, just
T.
total
Higgins
yards.
Over. Yeah.
T. Higgins over.
Yeah.
Wherever Tyler Boyd is, probably over because you already know Marlon Humphreys is probably going to be on Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't even hate a Jamar Chase over because this man is kind of due for an explosive game. So this could be the game.
Yeah. I feel like Mixon finally gets into the end zone.
I thought he went and got in the end zone last week. Pretty sure he did.
Did he? I don't think he... Did he? I don't know if he did, bro.
I want to say he did. Want to put a 5 on it?
Nah. I'm not confident in that. I just know he didn't do his best. He did. He did. He caught. It was a reception. Yeah, it was a receiving touchdown. Because I saw a stat recently. Daniel Jones has more rushing TDs than Mixon, Zeke.
By Najee.
A few of them combined. And I was like, oh. Mixon hasn't really scored. But yeah, he did score a receiving touchdown last week.
So that's a game that we should be talking about.
Cincy versus Baltimore.
Colts for the Broncos. Unless I just need Pittman and Judy to go off.
You don't care otherwise?
I care less about everything else.
What about JT? You got to see what happens with JT. That's a big thing. He's in a walking boot today. Supposed to play Thursday.
That's the question.
He's going to be on a snap count, right?
Start?
No.
That's my thing. I probably, especially with Miles Sanders going off last week. I feel comfortable. I'm not saying Miles Sanders will do it again, but I feel a little more comfortable putting JT on my bench for this week.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I gotta see what it looks like. I gotta see what it looks like.
So you're in the same boat as me. You would probably bench him.
Yeah, I can't, and I don't have much options in many leagues that I have.
I have a little bit of an option, so I'm not too worried about it.
I'm saying that so the league where we initially talked about, where it's him, Saquon, Aaron Jones. I could probably move Aaron Jones from my flex and then put Juju in that spot.
Bruh, you're acting like you're struggling out here.
I was the JT starting those 3. You know how it's half PPR. You know how much of a difference that is now from Juju to Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Or from technically it's Juju to JT.
But Juju will give you a safe 13 to 15
Don't
points.
say anything safe. No.
Isn't that what he just did?
No, it's not safe. He had 1 catch for 10 yards the week before.
That's the only week. Out of 4 weeks, he has given you a consistent 13 to 15. He had 1 dud.
It's not consistent. It's been 4 weeks of football.
And he's giving you... If I did the average between all 4 of them...
I'm pretty sure it's not...
If I did the average between all 4 of them, he'd be in the 12 range.
Okay, I think. Well, half PPR is... You got to realize...
I'm talking about... This is PPR, yes.
Okay, the league I was in...
Anything that's not PPR, yes, I agree with you. Don't.
Well, that's the league I'm talking about. It's a half PPR league.
Is this the bash?
Nah, the bash is washed. I need to drop a video about that, too. In the bash, it's over. It's curtains. I am struggling. Who am I starting in my running back spots right now? I'm starting Devin Singletary.
Don't you have Josh Jacobs? Didn't he just go off?
Ooh, yeah, it didn't matter, though. The rest of my team is so bad.
What is your record in the league?
2-2.
It's not bad.
Nah, but I'm in a rough situation. I need Elijah Mitchell back yesterday. It's like that.
So he's giving you 12.9, the 4, 13.9. Oh, he gave me 9 the other day.
Yeah.
So you might be right. You're right. But I still don't feel bad. Sorry.
I have to do it. So it's not about feel bad or feel good. I have to do it.
Yeah, that offense is clicking.
I got away with starting Amari Cooper in that league this week. I won by skin of my teeth. It's 1.2 points.
That's all. That's pretty much about
4-0 in that league.
Pretty much how much he gave you that week.
Yeah, I won just by his points, pretty much.
So he got you the win.
I mean, if you think about it, yeah, I guess, right? I would have preferred.
Couldn't give you nothing.
I would have preferred it to be a little bit more comfortable, but I'll tell you what. You know who actually gave me the win?
Who?
T.J. Hawkinson. Oh yeah.
T.J. Hawkinson went crazy.
So I have a fun story. I play DraftKings DFS, and I had my lineup set. I think for the 4,100 spot, I had Devin Duvernay, right? $4,100 for Devin Duvernay, and before the game started, I see that DJ Chark is out as well. So no DJ Chark, no Amon-Ra St. Brown, no DeAndre Swift. So I was like, how much is Hockenson right now? 4,100. I was like, okay. There's literally nobody else there. We're gonna risk it. We're gonna switch out Devin Duvernay for TJ Hockenson. I won my matchup. It's like 8 of us in there. The winner gets $63. I won this one. Just because of TJ.
He did go off. There's a tight end premium league that we have. That man had like 50 points.
It was wild. Is in half PPR, he had like 39.9. You know how crazy that is from a tight end in half PPR?
He was a must start this week. For sure.
Yeah.
Nobody was.
As soon as you got the news, he should have been out there. But funny enough, let's just hop into that game. Why not? Everybody in that game was a must start.
Everybody was.
Everybody
Craig
was.
Reynolds, he had himself a little bit of a day.
Yeah. Josh Reynolds had a good day.
Josh Reynolds.
Yeah,
that
the receiver. I was about to say, Craig Reynolds didn't really do that much. But Josh Reynolds. Craig Reynolds was like a backup running back. So he was Jamal
Josh
Williams.
Reynolds.
Yeah, Josh Reynolds came down with a TD. Well, I think it was like 70 yards. He had a decent day. Jamal Williams.
Started him in 2 leagues.
Went bananas.
No, 3 leagues.
Went crazy everywhere.
This is why I told you. I wasn't too worried about DeAndre Swift because I had Jamal Williams.
And they paid off for
Paying off for me so far.
Jared Goff. He was the number 1 quarterback on the week.
What'd I tell you? I've been telling you this. No,
you won't sell me. I traded him this week.
What?
I traded him before this performance.
But you can't lie though. I did tell you he's not fantasy wise. He's not bad. I told you this a long time ago.
I don't love it still. I think it's a situational thing because if you go the week before, it was not like this.
But what was the week before that?
Startable. I mean, he's startable.
He's especially in a super flex league.
Yeah, he's startable.
And in a regular league with only 1 quarterback,
he should not be playing. But I can't even say that right now. He's like QB6. So like,
I guess I'd go off of matchups.
Yeah.
If he's playing a bad defense.
Which both defenses are horrid.
The Detroit Lions defense is
horrid. So bad. Horrid. Rashad Penny went bananas. DK went bananas. DK was pooping on him so much, he went to go take a real poop in the game. He was like, I'm tired of pooping on y'all, I'm going to go take a real one.
He's like, I don't even want to walk over there and just drive me there.
Yeah, just drive me to the back. Right? What was it, 156 receiving?
Yeah.
I was a little bit disappointed. He fell down on the 1 yard line. Could have had a TD too.
Could have.
Fell out on the 1 yard line. I think it was like a 60-yard catch. Fell on the 1 yard line. I was just like,
so going forward, do you think DK is a pretty good
start? I've been starting him in every league I have him.
But he's been kind of disappointing.
He's been okay. Like,
but I guess that's what you drafted
DK wasn't going in typical DK range anyway. So like where I got DK, he's been doing above my expectations. I think he's had 1 week under 10 points. Everything else has been like 12, 13, and then this week was like 20-something. So I'm comfortable starting him every week. Which leads to like, if you look back at draft strategy, taking tight end early was a must this year.
I think going forward, you need to be taking, I mean, I could see being a 2nd-round pick for Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce. Maybe next year could be a 2nd-round pick. I don't know where he would be with his age.
If it's redraft, it's still probably will be back in first and 2nd.
Yeah. I think there's only been a handful of tight ends that have been, just been okay. I mean, you have Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, Gerald Everett, Zach Ertz.
Ooh, I was telling people to take Gerald Everett too, and I got roasted.
I'm starting Gerald Everett and Zach Ertz. It's a tight end premium league. I'm just starting both of them.
I have a tight end premium league I'm in too. I have Kelce, Waller, and Everett.
Oh, shit.
I'm playing all 3 of them every week.
That beats me.
Yeah, I'm playing all 3 every week.
The only other person I'd throw out there, and this is more for PPR. I mean, most of these guys, I'd say,
If
obviously,
it's not tight end premium or PPR, you shouldn't even be considering.
Dallas Goedert. He's been alright, giving you a consistent 13 to 15 points. That's kind of what I expected with him. But besides that, Kyle Pitts has been disappointing. Dalton Schultz hasn't been healthy.
Let's talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Kyle Pitts was at minimum a 4th-round pick in redraft. Most places we had to go 3rd. What do you do with Kyle Pitts? It's week 4. He's had 1 week that's startable. Where are you at? I've had people reach out. I think I have him in 2 leagues. I've had people reach out and be like, hey, what's the deal with Pitts? And I've already heard the disrespect in the offers. I had somebody hit me with, what you want to do with that trash bag Pitts? And I was like, okay, if we're starting there, there's no way we're going to come to a deal.
Yeah.
Because
it's tough. I think I think you just have to write it out. Because if you're selling him right now, you're going to be undervaluing him. You can't sell him at a premium anymore.
You remember that league where I got mad and drafted 2 tight ends? Like, I took Mark Andrews, and then in the 4th round, because I think Etienne got taken before me.
Yeah, you took Pitts.
Still doing okay in that league. But, like...
Oh, but speaking of that, can we talk about that? I'm undefeated in 2 leagues.
You are?
That one, 4-0.
Wait, are you undefeated in that one?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the one that has, like, the extra games?
No, that's Gods of Glory.
Isn't that where I have Pitts and Andrews? I'm almost 100% sure. Because that was, like, one of the last leagues we drafted. And that one you were not undefeated.
I took a dub. I took 2 dubs.
You're quite defeated.
I'm 3-5 now. Which, in other words, I'm 1-3.
No, you're 2-2. Because you got 2 wins this week.
I'm talking about if it wasn't that. I'm talking about 1-3 if it wasn't that extra stuff.
Oh, yeah, because you got a win off the extra stuff. Okay, yeah.
So I got an extra... If you watched last week's episode, you'd understand. But it's pretty much as a median game. You have a median. If you take a win during your matchup, that's 1 point. If you get over the points of the median, you get another point.
Yeah.
So I took 2 dubs, and now I'm 3-5.
I think I'm 5-3. Or no, I think I'm 4-2.
I took dubs in every league. Can we just have a moment right there?
How many leagues are you in?
That count? That matter?
No, just leagues in general.
5, 4 of them that matter.
Okay, and then you're at 4.
I'm not counting Kings of the North.
I know you're not. I've been balling in that one. I don't know where I'm at right now, but I've been balling in that one.
There's one league that I just owner took the helm of a team. I didn't draft it or anything like that. Trash. Straight dookie.
Really?
Yeah. Remember the beginning of that?
Yeah. J.K. Dobbins came back for you this week, though.
He did. So obviously I'm kind of tanking.
Allen Robinson been
in his dynasty. It's dynasty, so I'm just tanking right now. I have like 3 first-round picks next year. I got like every single rookie running back from last year's draft, except the important ones. So I mean, I'm not really counting that one. But in every other league, I've been balling out. I was number 1 in scoring in 2 leagues.
It was a good fantasy week.
This might be peak life for me. I ain't gonna lie to you. This might be peak.
We don't want to believe that, but it might be true.
It's been a good week. Yeah, go ahead. What you were saying?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, we did learn though tight ends. Important. Get your tight ends early. Right now, there's only a handful of them that are even worth much. If you don't get your hands on those, I'm sorry.
The 0 RBers are still beating that drum.
Are they though? Because this was a nice little redemption week. You have your Austin Eckler's going crazy.
I'll give you a second to shoot yourself in the foot. Continue. Who else did well?
Leonard Fournette did okay.
He's like a 5th, 6th round. Technically not
5th, 6th round.
Yeah, that's where he was going.
That's cat. You took him in like the 3rd round in one league.
Because I had to. No, I didn't. In the KickNPost Dino League, I got him like 5th
maybe
round.
Well, that's a dynasty league. It's a little different.
It's still though.
Okay, so Derrick Henry had a good week.
Okay, yeah. Barkley had an okay week. CMC had an underwhelming, but it was still okay week. For CMC standards, it was underwhelming.
He dropped 27.
Did he drop 27?
100%. Can I check?
Yeah, in regular leagues?
I'm not PPR. What do we...
That's what I'm talking about. PPR regular. I don't mean like not any crazy like... If you're talking KickNPost Dino where there's points for first downs and stuff, that's not regular. I'm talking like
25 points
in your league. Check black and yellow. If he got 25 in black and yellow, then
how would he not have gone? Because that's a PPR league.
No, but like we have a league where it's like first downs and stuff. I'm making sure it's not that.
25 in black and yellow.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's a CMC league. That's a good league.
Yeah, so CMC did good. Derrick Henry did good.
Barkley.
Austin Eckler did good. Saquon Barkley did good. Aaron Jones, how did he do?
Not good. It was nobody really did good.
Obviously JT. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah. Javonte out, but he's like a second round pick.
He's a second round pick. So, I mean, this was a good little redemption week for all those people.
Cordell's out.
Cordell is out, which we could talk about a couple people to pick up. The Tyler Algiers. If he's still on waivers, go get him.
His name is Caleb Huntley. He also rushed a touchdown, but I wouldn't really go near that. It's really Tyler Algiers' backfield, in my opinion.
Tyler Algier, go get him. People should have Melvin Gordon. Maybe Mike Boone is worth
some people
trying to go get.
People, his athleticism is like off the scale. He's super athletic, but he hasn't been able to piece it together.
Yeah. So maybe it's worth putting a couple fabs on him, or just if you have a spot available for him, maybe take him. We know Melvin Gordon's on a tight rope right now, fumbles in each game, so he can be somebody to go get. Is there anybody else?
I'm thinking I don't know, but the Jaguars still had Rashad Penny to beat their drum with. They had Jamal Williams to beat their drum with.
That's true. That's true. And like I said last week, that hero RB, because that's the one I'm more leaning to. Seems to be the move right now.
Yeah.
You just take your shot at somebody and you just hope that they're going to click. Unfortunately, Najee so far, I know I'm a Steelers fan, tough to say, but
Travis Etienne.
I know Travis Etienne, Najee has been.
You can't even start him anymore.
Can't.
I'm at that point where you can't even start him anymore. He's not even a 1B anymore. It was like 1A, 1B. He got a little bit more usage because we were down and they're trying to get him more involved, I guess, in the passing game or something, but he's not even startable.
I had a prize pick for him just getting 2 receptions.
Me too. I did it too. He got none. But the weather. I'm going to scratch it up to the weather.
But I thought that, if anything, it would open up for him to get some easy screens and things like that.
They didn't do any of that.
I didn't really see him with the ball that much at all.
He got his rushing yardage, I think. No, he missed that too. He missed his rushing yardage by 6 yards.
He only got the ball less than 10 times, for sure.
But James Robinson wasn't even involved like that either.
That's very interesting.
What happened? That's the question. Maybe we should give it another week. Should we give it another week?
Travis Etienne?
No, for just what's panning out in the backfield, because I have no idea what happened this week. I know what's going on most
You're going to have to give it another week. Because right now, if you're a Travis Etienne owner, you're panicking.
He plays Houston this week. This is a get-right week.
If he doesn't do anything this week.
You saw how Austin Eckler played against Houston, and he's supposed to be our passing back to be deployed. Austin Eckler went 649 and a touchdown, just receiving.
He had 3 touchdowns that day.
Yeah. So, this is the get-right week, if there's ever one, for Travis Etienne.
We'll see.
But I don't know.
We'll see what his role is.
We'll see what the weather is, too.
Where's it at?
Jags. It's in Jacksonville. I still want to go to a game, but I don't know if we'll figure that out yet. I want to go to the Oakland game. Not Oakland, Vegas.
When are they playing? What week is it?
October 23rd, I think.
So you're going to have to figure that out pretty soon.
Yeah. Or I wanted to go to the Giants game. See Saquon play, but I don't know how that's going either.
And that should be a win for y'all.
Now I'm feeling like it, yeah. But I don't know.
Because I want to go to a Steelers game so bad. But is it bad for me to obviously I'm a Steelers fan, so I want to see a win. But I really want to go to an environment that, we're getting big plays, or the whole crowd's getting into it.
Atlanta's the game we should have tried to go to. I sent you something about that preseason. They have a game in Atlanta versus, obviously, Atlanta.
With the Steelers?
Yeah.
See, a game like that, yeah, I'd be down to go to one.
Because,
it just depends on how much it is.
They expect... So, here's the issue with fan bases, which is a fun argument we could get into. My fan base sucks. Our tickets are still cheap. And we look decent this year. Everyone's a Steelers fan. Everybody loves the Steelers. It's I would say it's a top 3 fan base, maybe top 5 fan base in the NFL.
I appreciate that.
Don't look at me like I'm crazy. You guys have a crazy fan base.
No, I was looking at you crazy because you said everybody's a Steelers fan.
No, I mean if you
they're all over the place.
Yeah, yes. If you do a map of America, just like Dallas, maybe the Niners as well, because of success, which you guys have had more success.
I think it's Dallas, Philly.
I wouldn't even put Philly that high up there yet.
Crazy.
I would go Dallas, probably y'all, and then go Niners, Philly.
Oh, I wasn't going in order. I was just naming them off.
No.
I was just naming off some of the predominant league teams that have big fan bases.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd go with that.
It's hard for you to buy a Pittsburgh ticket because your fans travel so well. So it's always going to be a little bit up there in price. Even if you guys are playing Pine Hills High School, people just flood because it's the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Because we're like that.
I mean, you guys have the pedigree in terms of championships and organization, and you guys have a tradition. Terrible towel. There's so much things that go into it. Heinz Field used to be a tradition, but now y'all ruined that. But you
know what needs to be a tradition?
What?
Get rid of Matt Canada.
That should be a tradition. You don't do that once though. You wouldn't bring him back.
That'd be a good tradition for me. We can take that moment, take that day, and forever, every single year on that day, we can celebrate.
Scott Frost. He's exciting on offense usually.
I just need Matt Canada out there. I need Mike Tomlin just making calls. He's a defensive mind.
You still take him over?
Big Ben need to come back and
beat the OC. That would be interesting.
Which I forgot to mention. We're getting really off topic, but Big Ben is on this podcast for the Steelers. And he's talking about how Kenny has texted him. They have like a really cool relationship. And I'm just really happy to see that. I just want to mention that. I am really happy.
As long as they don't hang out outside of work.
Why not?
You know why not.
Why not?
Big Ben be on that stuff outside of work.
Don't do that.
A lot of them Steelers boys be on that stuff outside of work.
Don't do that.
You saw what AB was up to?
You being disrespectful.
You saw what AB was up to in Dubai?
What was he doing? He's playing the pool?
Yeah, that one was showing more D than the Seattle Seahawks.
You saw what he posted on Instagram?
He posted Tom Brady's wife. Bro, he is on another level. I saw that from, what's his name? He be on fire on Twitter lately. RG3. He said that he was showing more D than Seattle and Detroit. I had to steal it. But yeah, that was good.
I mean, I don't know if people know, but AB used to be...
He's not normal.
They've
shown clips. No, they've shown clips. He was always on some wildness, even in his early days. People just overlook some of it.
Which ones?
Like some of his interviews. I'm gonna send you a clip afterwards where he was talking kind of wild, and it was like maybe his second year in the league.
I'd have to look at it. I haven't seen any interviews. I thought before the Vontaze Burfict hit, he always seemed pretty.
They had him more in check. I would say he was more in check. Now he's just gone.
I think it's just money. That money got to him.
He's just off the rocker.
But he used to be my favorite receiver for a long time.
He used to? You just gonna leave him?
I mean, he's not even in the league anymore.
I know, but if you're talking your favorite receiver,
I mean, if you ask me my favorite receiver of all time, it would be Antonio Brown. But it's sad to say.
I think I'm leaning Larry Fitzgerald still. I love me some Larry Fitzgerald.
I mean, I love AB in his prime.
Yeah.
He was an icon for me. Even if you ask my mom, name a football player, she'd be able to name Antonio Brown.
It was like that?
It was like that. So, obviously, I'm sad to see the path that he has chosen, but he has chosen this path, so...
Have you seen some of his tweets after what happened in Dubai?
No. I try to avoid Antonio Brown news. I legit, I've seen, Undisputed talk about things, and I watch Undisputed. When I wake up in the mornings, I play it in the background, I will avoid those videos. If I see any video of Antonio Brown,
You scroll?
Because it hurts. It hurts to see that stuff, man.
He said that he's still exposing defense. Well, no, he said he's still exposing Ds. That somebody needs to sign Antonio Brown because he's still exposing Ds. He tweeted that. Nobody had to make that joke. He made it himself.
AB doesn't get.
He also freestyled.
People around him.
He dropped a freestyle on Instagram about the pool situation. This is what he's on right now. That's your boy.
I just said that I try to avoid anything about him, and now you just keep dropping news to me. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone.
If I had to be in pain this week, I gotta pass it on.
Which, on a more serious note, one thing I wanted to talk about, I can't believe we haven't even mentioned it yet, the Miami situation.
Well, since we're talking about head injuries, I think it's a good time.
I think that's why bring it up. That's why I kind of wanted to bring it up. So, what are your thoughts? And then I'll go diving in.
So, what did you see the Sunday game against the Bills? It was 2 Sundays ago.
I mean, obviously, Tua pushed, fell backwards, knocked his head, got up, barely, took a couple steps, stumbled, fell to the ground. O-line had to hold him up, try to get him to the side. Nothing good. I mean, it looked like a clear head injury. And I just want to say, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician. I have no idea. But just from an eye test perspective. And also, I've been kind of doing some research on this.
Okay.
A little bit. And so I'll go ahead and talk about it.
I see you.
So they have this thing where they have spotters, right?
Yeah.
They have spotters in the stands, and they watch for things like this. But they also have this thing afterwards. What?
I just imagine the spotter as being at the concession stand. And nobody was in their spot. And they come back and they're like, what happened? And they're like, nothing. It was a back injury. They're like, all right. They're just in the stands eating a hot dog.
Yeah, like hot dog with the drink. Hey, that would answer some questions.
I'm not a spotter, but I saw him and I was like, bro, he got whopped. That was bad. And then they came out back in ankle injury and I was like,
nah. So like I said, I'm not no doctor, but I mean, just from seeing that. But I heard that how the NFL does it is they conduct, a test to see if they can even continue to play. They call it the concussion protocol. But there's one thing that they say that is very interesting to me. That if something looks bad on the field, that will trump everything about the test.
What?
That's what they said. And I'm like, isn't that not clear though? Is that not clear?
I thought so. I really did, bro.
So he might have passed. And I've been watching a lot of videos, obviously, like I said, and previous NFL players talking about things like this, and they're like, yeah, it's easy to answer a few questions, look at something, and then pass.
Be back in, yeah. They used to do it all the time.
So to me, it's like they have the other rule for a reason to see, okay, if there's some kind of, I think it was if they can't move correctly or if they can't stand or they need something along, they start stumbling after some kind of hit that could cause something like that. Out. Like there's just no question. Doesn't matter what the test is, or no matter what he says, out. So to see that happen and then going to Thursday's game.
So key thing to point out, short week. So something like
4
that
days.
takes a while to clear. Like, I know for T. Higgins, he had a concussion this year, and concussion protocol wasn't able to clear him until, like, I think Friday. The game was Sunday, right? For him to clear on a short week, for it to not even be listed as a concussion.
He didn't even
it was listed
have to
as
get
a back
in the protocol.
Yeah, it was listed as a back and ankle injury, but somehow they went back into the investigation, said the neurological professional was still, like, checking him, like he was still in protocol, but it wasn't necessarily protocol, and he passed, which that's shady in itself, but...
Apparently that person got fired.
He's a scapegoat.
Obviously.
He's a scapegoat.
Yeah,
it's not his fault.
Somebody had to get it.
Somebody either paid him, no suspicion, but somebody either got him to clear Tua, and then he did what he was told, and then this happened, and he was probably at home Thursday night, like...
And it was funny to me how like
on
they were
Indeed looking up a new job because he knew he was going to be the one that got fired.
And I like how the way they worded it. I forgot exactly how it was, but they said like some outside doctor cleared him, and
like they sent him down to urgent care, and that's how he got cleared.
And I'm like, don't y'all provide these doctors? Don't y'all have the people to go and make sure this stuff doesn't happen?
Correct. You would think, yes.
So to me, and to see him play, and we're laughing and stuff, but I'm glad that Tua's okay. I'm glad that from the reports that I'm hearing.
Well, as of now, he's okay. We don't know how this is going to affect him.
Could have shaved off a year or two on his career, for sure.
Not even just a year, like what he'll be like 10 years from now.
Because Tua it's not new for concussions for him. I think last year he had one.
He got a concussion at Alabama too, I'm pretty sure.
So he's already at like 4. He had this one, which is bad. They call it the second concussion something. They call it
second trauma or something that because it created almost like a rigor mortis effect in his fingers. Like
it was scary to see.
It was really wild to see. And we have to get into sports coverage and how they just lose touch. Why they kept showing me this man's fingers?
See, here's the thing. I actually don't mind it. I don't mind it. To me, when something like this happens, people need to know. People need to know what happens, and people need to know what could happen. Clearly, the Dolphins did something incorrect.
Correct.
So I want them to show it. I want people to talk about it. And I'm really proud of
the broadcast 5 times in a row. Also saying we're about to zoom in on his fingers.
I'm not mad at it. And I'm also proud of the broadcasters for even mentioning last Sunday's game.
Oh no, they need to do that
and calling out the NFL. I think this is what I'm really saying is during these type of situations, things like this need to be brought to the attention. Things like this need to be on TV for people to see, so we can have the same emotions and be like, dang, like that really just happened in the middle of the game. And then we can look at Sunday night's game and we can ask some questions and we can start challenging the NFL and how are we handling these kind of protocols? How are we conducting these type of things? And going forward, how do we make it better? So to me, I don't hate it. Maybe 4 times is a little excessive. Maybe like 2 times, but I'm glad that they showed it. I'm glad that the broadcasters talked about it. I'm glad that the media has been up Miami's butt about this, and I'm glad that coaches have to answer questions, and I'm glad that these things are happening because that really shows that it deserves that type of attention, and we're not just trying to like let it go and act like it didn't happen. So hopefully, like something like this happens in the future. We improve upon it, we improve on the system, and we get it better.
Did you see Cameron Brate this Sunday night?
No.
Nobody learned.
What happened?
Clearly concussed again. He caught a ball going over the middle, and he couldn't really see that the DB and his teammate was coming, and he collided with his teammate. Horribly shaken up on the ground for a minute. They try to rush the play. They try to run him off the field. He's struggling to get off the field. They actually get a 12-man on the field penalty because he didn't get off in time. In 2 plays, he's back on the field.
I would have to look at it.
And then, by like the next Chiefs draft, they're like, Cameron Brate's been put in concussion protocol. He's out for the game.
Shoot.
And I was just like, y'all put that man back out there again? Like, we just had Tua on Thursday.
Yeah, right now, all NFL teams need to be the
If you see him go, That's it.
Yeah.
Once he shakes his head, that's it. It's done. You're out.
Yeah.
You're done.
You are done.
They didn't even get anybody to help him off the field. They're trying to run hurry-up offense. It was bad. I don't think it was...
They didn't call injury time?
No.
They don't even call that. Refs just...
Well, he was on his back, and it took like about 10 to 15 seconds. One of his teammates helped him on his feet, and then you could tell he was woozy, and then he tried to jog off the field, and Brady was running hurry-up offense, and they got a penalty. And Brady almost looked frustrated, and I was just like...
I was just thinking that. I was like, I wonder if Brady's like, put your ass on the field.
I think he was. And I was just like, bro, we just had Tua literally like 4 days ago.
Did you probably didn't, knowing you, but did you watch that video I sent you about how Mike Tomlin handled Ryan Clark's?
Yeah, I saw that video before you sent it to me, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have a bad
how
habit
he dealt, okay. Oh, I did one time and now. Did you watch what he said about sickle cell too? How he tried to protect him from himself in Denver? When they were going, he tried to protect Ryan Clark from playing in Denver in the high altitude because of his sickle cell anemia. Yeah.
I didn't know about that. Hey, that's my coach.
Yeah. Because I think Ryan was going to try to push it. He's like, nah, with the altitude and your, continuous, you're going to live with this. Yeah. I think it had something to do with like his blood thinning or something up there. Like it could get really bad if he got an injury up in Denver.
And that's what you want to see in a coach.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to say that's my coach. I'm hoping that the majority of the coaches are like that, but
could bet money.
But the real question though is like, how far do you? Is it Mike McDaniel? Is that his name?
Yeah, Mike McDaniel.
How far do you blame him?
I don't know how much of a hands-on effect he has.
Because it's hard to say. It's hard. How do you, as a coach? Obviously, you're not a doctor. So if you go to the doctor, you're like, is he good? Like, what's going on? And if the doctor's like, oh yeah, he's good to go. I mean, as a head coach on a team that's, I don't know, how do you handle that? Because I also look at it like Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's like, nah, I can definitely see that something bad happened. You're not going back out there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I wish we could see what happened. I wish we could see the interactions.
Behind the wall. Yeah.
I wish, because how much of this is Mike McDaniel's fault?
Not enough happened.
This could be something either Mike McDaniel didn't have like any really say in. He was just like, oh, he's good to go, okay. Or it could have been something completely bigger, where Mike McDaniel came in there and was like, come on, he's all right. Let's go.
Yeah,
it's very interesting. But like I said, I'm glad. I'm not happy that it happened, but I'm glad of the attention that it got afterwards. And I'm hoping that it's gonna.
How long do you think this attention will carry over?
A week.
Yeah, that's the problem too.
That is the problem. It's not going to continue.
Like Tua's out this week, so they're obviously going to talk about why he's out. They play the Jets, which I think the Jets win that game. And
I don't know. Teddy Bridgewater is a competent backup.
Yeah, with a whole week of practice, but I still like the Jets in this game.
Want to put a 5 on that?
Yeah, I'll take it. 5 on the Jets.
Hold up.
Oh, here we go.
A lot of attention. A lot of attention on the Dolphins. Hold up.
You don't want to, what's it called? Put 5 on the best wide receiver possibly in the league right now.
Don't do that.
Nah. I feel like it has to be so.
Who do you have on the? Okay, we're going off topic again. But who do you have Sunday night with the Ravens and the Bengals?
That's such a toss-up. I don't know. I'm thinking since
we should come up with something because I'm leaning Ravens.
Really? I mean, they've lost back-to-back games at home. They need to get one to get right. It's in division, I don't know if I'd say that since he's figured it out, but they've been playing better the last few weeks. The line is still horrible, and the Ravens' line is one of their best parts of their defense, but their secondary is shot still. So if there's any time at all available to Joe Burrow,
they're
going to eat.
You leaning?
I'm leaning Cincy right now. Yeah.
Okay. By the end of the video,
we'll decide. But yeah, I'm leaning Cincy. I'm just excited to see those prize pick lines.
Yeah.
That's where I feel like I'm going to eat Sunday night is those prize pick lines. I don't know what J.K. Dobbins' will be. He's looked good coming back now, finally, from his ACL.
He does look good.
I'm glad to see him back to normal. You fleeced me on that deal now?
At first, though, I thought you fleeced me.
No.
But now he's looking okay, so.
Can we talk about last night? Is Matt Stafford racist? I gotta know, bro.
Okay.
At this point, I gotta know, bro.
First of all, he's not.
We don't know that.
He's not. That man had Calvin Johnson.
I told you already. Somebody of Calvin Johnson's caliber
OBJ
is so good that he'll make a racist person throw the ball.
Deshaun Jackson, Van Jefferson. He's throwing
Deshaun Jackson left.
But he still got if you watch the game, I mean, I don't know what Deshaun Jackson is looking for. He always had 2 deep balls thrown to him. What else is he asking for?
Not Matt Stafford. They went out.
He is not okay.
They went out and they cloned Cooper Kupp. They got Cooper Kupp's hair, put it in a vial, and cloned him. That's who Ben Skoranek is. That doesn't even sound like a real person. He's 6'5" and he looks exactly like Cooper Kupp. They even put him in the number 18, which if you look real quick, it looks like 10. It's the same player.
But
they went out and got Cooper Kupp version 2. He's been
good. Okay.
He's been
and then Allen Robinson just hasn't. I mean, if you watch the game,
how do you sign him to be a decoy, Matt? He gets open. Don't tell me if you watch the game.
I don't see him getting open very much
because you have Matt Stafford vision. That's why you're just looking for Cooper Kupp.
What are you talking about?
You're just looking for Cooper Kupp.
I even looked at it. I was like, okay, Allen Robinson, is he open right here? Oh no, he's not. He doesn't seem to have a burst. Doesn't seem to have any speed. His route runs look lazy. Have you watched?
I'd kind of fall out of love with the game, too, if every time I looked up, he's throwing to Cooper Kupp. Even if it results in an interception, he's aiming for Cooper Kupp.
I mean, Cooper Kupp is still a top 5 receiver in the league. He's going to get his targets. And Allen Robinson is looking like that all the time. It doesn't matter if you don't get the ball. Run your route. You're getting paid money to do this. I don't care about the excuses. Bro. I don't care about the excuses. Run the route.
The only time he looks for him is when the game is over. That's the only time. I'm not
hearing that Matthew Stafford is. Is that like a legitimate question?
It might be. Not for me.
I don't think
the streets been talking, man.
Hey, the streets. Chill out.
The streets been talking.
I can see it. I mean, watching the game last night, literally nobody. It was literally just Ben Skoranek and Cooper Kupp and Tyler Higbee. I can't lie.
I'm not upset with the Tyler Higbee involvement, obviously. Right? Like a tight end, he's against linebackers. He's supposed to win those matchups.
Yeah.
It's just the entire defense. That pick 6. Did you watch that pick 6? Everyone knew. Everyone in the stadium knew, including the DB who picked it and took it for a touchdown, that in this situation, you are going to force it to Cooper Kupp.
So let me ask you this then. If you're Matthew Stafford,
yes.
If Allen Robinson is running lazy routes or doesn't have a burst, doesn't seem to be
So you just think it's based on lazy routes. You don't think there's an opportunity for him to pass the ball to Allen Robinson. And he's just not looking his way.
I think that Allen Robinson is a little washed. He isn't as athletic as he once was. So anytime he looks over there, he sees him not open, not a lot of separation. Looks over to Cooper Kupp, separation there. What are you supposed to do as Matthew Stafford?
I just don't see me given the option to trust Allen Robinson in any matchup. This is the NFL. There's tight windows.
But you also got to remember they have practice every day.
And they told me that Allen Robinson was the best at practice.
They told you. Who told you?
Matt Stafford and the beat writers.
Of course they're going to say Allen Robinson is
I said Matt
number
Stafford
2.
said it too.
Of course Matthew Stafford's going to say that. What is he going to say? No, Allen Robinson is trash?
Nobody prompted him to say it. He could have just said, "I love."
Yeah,
Cooper
of course
Kupp.
He likes him, but he practices with him, and he was in game, and he probably. I can see why Matthew Stafford was doing that. I was watching the game, looking at Allen Robinson. I don't see him getting a lot of separation. I'm seeing a lot of lazy routes. I'm seeing not a lot of full speed. I'm seeing a lot of that type of stuff. Of course, he didn't look at Cooper Kupp.
They get him off the field, bro.
Who else? Ben Skoranek comes into play. That's why he's getting the ball. But there should be something else.
Van Jefferson's hurt still. Everybody's hoping for him to come back. And
people want OBJ to come back.
If I'm a Rams fan and they're like, just wait for Van Jefferson to get back and then we'll be good,
that's depressing.
I'm hanging it up. The year's over. If I'm waiting for Van Jefferson to come back to be good, that's it.
That is depressing. But they don't have anybody to take the top off the defense. They don't have a deep play. Allen Robinson's
never that, though.
But he's a jump ball guy.
Not anymore. Like, that part of the game.
But then at what point, what is he good for then?
Over the middle, he's still a good route runner.
He was that big, tall, can make those jump catches. He's not a speedster.
No.
So, okay.
Yeah, he's still a solid route runner, though.
But isn't that what Cooper Kupp is?
Yeah, but Cooper Kupp, you could use both your solid route runners, Matt. It's not illegal.
I get that.
They allow you to pass to more than one receivers in the NFL.
I need you to watch Allen Robinson. That's what I need you to do.
I'm about to send you some clips. Because somebody already started, piecing together the OBJ dad type vibe, where they're look at Allen Robinson getting open and watch Cooper Kupp just get every reception from Matt Stafford, no matter what happens.
Maybe.
Doesn't matter.
Maybe I'm the one tripping. And maybe you're right.
They lost to the Niners last night. Which the Niners have had their number.
I was going to say...
The last 8 matchups they've had outside of the NFC Championship. They beat them like 8 times in a row.
The Niners aren't trash, though. That was real disrespectful the way you just said that.
They also are struggling to get people involved.
Isn't Otto a Niners fan?
Yeah. I mean, it's Bang Niner game. We get that. Defensive line, crazy. But they were down Trent Williams, so Aaron Donald was kind of getting in the backfield. I guess the Rams' offensive line is banged up as well, but this was supposed to be a get-right game for the Rams, and to finally exercise some of that, we're 0-7 against the Niners in our last 7 regular season games. Let's get one.
And you know what? You're probably right. To be honest with you, that was an offensive issue.
They weren't favored, though, so it makes sense. I think the Rams are underdogs. So, Vegas knew something.
This is on Matthew Stafford, though, in my eyes. Wasn't consistent enough. He was just looking at Cooper Kupp every time. And maybe you're right. Maybe he should be at least throwing some targets to Allen Robinson. He
got 7 targets, but they were bad targets. Did you watch the game? That's what I'm saying. It's game out of hand. Right? I think through the first half he had 1 target.
So what do you think they should do?
If you're not going to use him, go acquire somebody else. Right? Get somebody else in that offense that you would trust.
They don't have picks. Who's on waivers?
Will Fuller.
Take a shot on him.
Yeah, that's a deep ball.
He is a deep ball threat.
Yeah, that could take the top off.
Where's Deshaun Jackson now?
On the couch. That's what his.
Would you be willing to resign him?
No, it didn't work the first time. Why go for it the second time? You know who's somebody that's been whispered to be getting targeted by a few teams?
Who?
To get rescued?
Who?
DJ Moore.
I heard that DJ Moore wants out.
The Chiefs apparently are targeting him.
I heard.
Imagine they send Juju in a pick, or they send Hardman in a pick, or they send Sky Moore in a pick.
I'd do that.
For DJ Moore.
Would you do that?
Heck yeah.
DJ Moore is talented. I feel bad for him.
He has had the worst luck at quarterback. I know people love Cam. Cam's not the guy you want if you're a receiver. I'm sorry.
Oh, he's not.
He's okay. But he's not my ideal pick for quarterback if I'm a receiver looking for, somebody to target me efficiently. Then he goes from Cam to who? Sam Darnold? I'm good on that. Actually, it was Cam to buddy who was playing for Washington for a little minute. I don't even remember his name right now. He ended up in Washington for a bit. Kyle Allen, I think, or something like that. He had Kyle Allen for a year or 2.
Didn't Teddy play there too?
Who?
Didn't Teddy play there too?
Yeah, Teddy played there too as well. And then you got Sam Darnold, and now it's Baker.
And Baker's looking pretty bad. And I wasn't a Baker hater.
I sold the only Baker share I had.
Really?
At the beginning of the year, yeah. I sold Baker and Dak and Marquise Brown for Trey Lance and some rookie receivers. And now everybody's hurt. Only Marquise Brown's left standing in that deal. The entire deal is hurt. So it is what it is. I would have been winning regardless. But Baker has the worst QBR in the league right now. So
I'm not a Baker hater, and I believed in him a little bit this year.
You did.
I did. He has been very disappointing.
Yeah.
I never expected him to be crazy, though. I just expected him to be
I think he'd be an upgrade from Sam Darnold.
That's what I was expecting.
It's not even.
And that's why I didn't draft DJ Moore anywhere, luckily, so far.
I haven't either.
But he was something I kept an eye on.
I thought about it.
And anytime I saw him in that 6th round, not 6th round, 6th round.
It was 5th, yeah.
I was like, ooh.
I thought about it.
But there was always somebody a little better.
I was too busy with Travis Etienne. Man.
That's the question. Who would you rather have right now, DJ Moore or Travis Etienne?
DJ Moore.
Same. Yeah. Unless something happens to
James Robinson.
I
just don't Our offense is better than Carolina's, so there's that. But I feel like
you can make a case though for Travis Etienne back half of the year if he's a valuable handcuff.
He is. Oh my gosh! You just said I drafted a handcuff in the 5th round.
Would you say he's
said valuable handcuff? I took this man in the 5th round, and you just called him a valuable handcuff.
I mean, that's what he is so far.
But he hasn't even been valuable. He's not even.
He dropped you 10 points
once.
Tony Pollard dropped 21 times.
Yeah, he did.
So, okay, would you say that Etienne is the biggest bust for you from the people that you have drafted?
Najee Harris. Oh, I haven't drafted Najee Harris. Sorry.
So you say Najee's the biggest bust?
Yeah. Najee's pretty much pacing Travis Etienne in scoring this year.
But I will say this. With Kenny Pickett, the way he looked,
yeah,
I do like that he's slinging it.
Yes, he is.
He's not scared to sling it.
He's not.
Got some good receivers.
He does.
So this is a lot of what ifs. It's a lot, but if you are an owner of Najee Harris and you're trying to see what happens, I think the next few weeks will really kind of tell you how much he will be valuable, in my opinion.
He's a dynasty play for me, nothing else. I didn't want him in redraft.
I didn't draft him in redraft either, and I'm a Steelers fan.
Yeah, I couldn't see it.
The offense has looked way
This offense and this line, and the line got worse from last year, and his yards per carry last year wasn't good. I'm supposed to believe this year, with Mitchell Trubisky, who I know isn't going to throw to the running back, and then Kenny Pickett, when he comes in, who I knew wasn't going to throw to the running back, so it's only going to be rushing yards. He's not going to be getting the targets he gets from Big Ben, who's old, who's just going to see him and be like, ugh.
I bet you Najee owners are so mad that Kenny Pickett got 2 touchdowns on the ground.
Yeah, that he put the head down in. He looked good in those, too. He found a little pocket, got in there.
He did.
Yeah.
Had some good movement to him. I like that.
I like Kenny Pickett.
But yeah, Najee has been the biggest bust, but for you, when it comes to you, what you've drafted.
Yeah. So far, you're asking me to scour a lot of teams, Matt.
So I think for you, Kyle Pitts.
Allen Robinson.
You were big. I remember talking to you, and there was one league that we were drafting in, and you took your number 1 wide receiver, and then I don't know what you were doing, but you waited forever. And I did the same thing for receivers. We both waited, and we took some of the back half ones. Mine have done okay. You're like, I'm more than okay with Allen Robinson as my second wide receiver.
Yeah, I was.
That's unfortunate.
I have him in so many leagues too.
For me, who would you say is my big bust? Elijah Moore isn't.
I wouldn't count him as a bust.
Because he's too far out.
Do you still take him over Zach Wilson? Not Zach Wilson, Garrett Wilson for the rest of the year?
Garrett Wilson does look better. I can't say Elijah Moore. I did say before the draft.
Yeah.
I liked Elijah more than Garrett Wilson for this year. I did say Garrett Wilson might do his thing in the back half of the year, but I thought Elijah Moore would have a good start, a good middle, and a good end. So far, it has been a horrendous beginning. Horrendous. He's only given 8 points a game.
Yeah.
I mean, but he is like an 8th round pick, so he's not my biggest bust. Who would you say is my biggest bust? I would have said, I'm not worried about him. First week, he dropped 27 points. Second week was 12 points. Third week, dud.
7 points.
Fourth week, dud.
Yeah.
But with an offense that's not clicking yet.
Will it ever?
I think eventually it will.
Matt Ryan, you think it will?
I think eventually.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about it. Maybe the fact that I didn't have to pay a first-round pick for him, so that's why I'm not.
Oh, yeah, you just...
I got traded with him.
Yeah,
so
Chase has been comparable.
Jamar Chase hasn't gone crazy either.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see on JT. He hasn't been the biggest bust for me yet, and I've only had 1 share of him. I'm trying to think of somebody I took a few shares of, and
You have less leads to do that. So...
Other person I could think of would have been Austin Eckler, but now he's good.
Now he's
for now, he did drop a good week. Maybe Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, but again, what were you expecting?
I took him over
Waller. But Waller hasn't been that great either. He's had a nice week.
Yeah.
You know what the lesson of this is right now?
What?
Everybody sucked so far this year in fantasy. You know what's a stat that I saw recently?
Hmm?
Saquon Barkley has the lowest amount of points scored by an RB1 since the 70s for running backs. Usually the RB1 has way more points scored for the year. Saquon's the RB1 in fantasy and has the lowest point total as an RB1 in decades.
And that's depressing to see.
That shows you that just fantasy kind of sucks this year. Offenses are getting used to using all types of weapons. They don't care who it is. There's not many workhorses. There's not many wide receivers that you can be okay, they're going to dominate 20 targets. There's never going to be, I think, a 20-catch game for a wide receiver ever again, unless it's Cooper Kupp. I feel like those days are gone.
I think Cooper Kupp has a legit chance.
Devontae Adams would be that guy if he stayed in Green Bay, but...
I think right now, the only person I can see possibly doing that is Cooper Kupp.
Which is wild, because Brandon Marshall had a 20-reception game before, right? He wasn't even the best receiver of, that year when he did that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of those days are gone. I think they're just used to spreading the ball around, unless your name is Matt Stafford and you have Allen Robinson on the field. Every other team's trying to incorporate all their weapons. So for fantasy...
From a fantasy aspect...
That's not fun.
It's not fun at all.
I like workhorses. Run them
but from a real life perspective, I can see why.
It makes more sense.
It does make more sense. Less injuries.
Not really. Everybody's still been getting hurt.
People still getting hurt, but yeah.
The turf monster's been eating people. Have you seen that clip of Luis? I think his name is Louis Cine or Louis Cine. He was a Washington DB. Got drafted to Minnesota. They were playing on the turf out there in London. He was tackling somebody and like his foot was dragging on the turf, and it just stops. But his momentum keeps going, so it snaps.
Oh.
If it was grass, the grass would move. It would have been all right, but his foot got caught in the turf.
So you think that they need to change it over to grass?
They need to stop. Yeah. If you look at I think it was 2 years ago when the Niners lost like 4 players at MetLife playing against the Giants,
and
then Sterling Shepard's had his issues. OBJ tore his ACL playing for the Giants as well. I think he was at home at the time. And if it wasn't, I think it was on a turf field. It's been a lot of injuries on turf.
So here's the thing. Seeing after all this happened, how come they haven't proven it? How come they haven't changed it?
For NFL teams, it's just more cost effective to have turf.
Yeah.
It's less maintenance. You pay a hefty price once, but it's less maintenance.
But if it's injuring your players, like an OBJ, how much money is that really costing you? You're paying millions of dollars for someone to sit on your bench.
That's true.
Medical fees. Do they? I'm sure they cover all that stuff.
I think so.
I've never thought about it, but I'd imagine they cover fees and all the surgeries. And
yeah, I think while you're on the team and you're part of the team, yeah.
Yeah.
But how many of these contracts are guaranteed? Also, and it shortens a career, like it or not. Like they're technically saving money on the back end because these guys leave and then you get younger talent in, and then you sign them to young deals. So you don't really care about when they're ready to re-sign anyway. Who cares about that? You've had 2 torn ACLs. Don't want you. I'll go draft A.T. Perry this year at wide receiver. Not going to sign no OBJ. You get A.T. Perry second round.
Is he really a second rounder?
Yeah, that's what his projection's at right now.
That's crazy.
He's 6'5", 205, good run after catch.
I asked my mom to send me some pictures of him.
Yeah.
She couldn't find any.
Isn't that wild? You've played with a few NFL players. Not many people can say
that.
With.
Against.
Well, you played with.
But I played with Little League. It was like pace football, Little League, middle school. Man, it was a beast back then too. Literally, I remember.
Did you think he was like that though? Like, I've never really been around somebody in the sports realm where I was like, oh yeah, that person's like that.
I mean, he clearly had a lot of talent.
Yeah.
He was tall and skinny, so he didn't really seem to have like a huge like burst to him or anything. So it looks like he
worked on that.
He looks like he's worked on that
205.
for a while.
That's not skinny.
Freshman year, he was at Pace High School. I think he moved. He moved to somewhere else, and ever since.
So he didn't even finish his career, really, like in this area playing football.
I don't think he did. I'm pretty sure he didn't. He didn't play for Pace High School, or any of the ones around here. Maybe he was like a Pensacola team or something like that. But I think he moved away, and I just randomly saw a picture of him and my old Little League coach on Facebook. I'm never on Facebook. Like, I don't know if you.
Yeah, I'm not really on there either.
I go on there.
My thing is so stagnant.
I literally go on there just to delete my notifications, like just so they can go away. So, but the first post on there was my old head coach.
Yeah.
And A.T. Perry. He wanted to go visit him in Wake Forest, and they took a picture together. And I'm like, oh, he's playing for Wake. I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's a D1 school. They were top 25 team.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, let me see how good he did. Did he play? So I'm like,
did he play?
That
so
was like
funny.
That was like a legit question. I'm like, did he play?
Funny.
Like, how well did he do? So I go on my app and I go look at the box score, and I see him 6 catches, 80 yards, and a tutty. I'm like, okay, he had a pretty good game. And I'm like, let me look and see if he's done this like consistently. I look at the game log, tutty, 80 yards, 8 receptions, and I'm like, oh, so he's like that.
Yes.
So that's when I texted you, and I'm like, do you know this kid? And he's not a kid, he's my age, but I'm like, do you know this dude? And he's like, and you're like, yeah. And I was like, is he gonna draft level? Like, how good is he? And you were like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I would be surprised if he doesn't get drafted. Honestly, I know you don't listen to my content.
Have you talked about it before?
Yeah. on the podcast. So we do like incoming rookies or like talent that we're expecting to get drafted eventually. I think it was this year where I was talking about the wide receiver core, or it was last year's draft class. And I was like, I'm not really in love with, I think, last year's draft class because I was willing to wait on guys like A.T. Perry and stuff like that. This was like a year and a half ago, 2 years, because like him and Sam Hartman, that duo in Wake Forest, been turning up for pretty much the entire time they're there.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, as soon as he gets out of Wake and gets onto like a team, I'm really high on a guy like A.T. Perry because he has the build, he has the run after catch. There are certain questions about like his initial athleticism, but I feel like he could easily kind of mold himself into what Allen Robinson was in his early years, winning the route and show like he has better in-game speed than like measurables. And he's 6'5", 205, big body.
That's I remember he was always taller than everybody else that we played against. And the amount of jump balls.
Yeah.
A lot of jump balls. And he would come down with a lot of them, too. And he was pretty quick. And once he got to his top speed, he was...
Exactly.
He was gone.
It might get him a while. Like, the acceleration isn't like 0 to 60 in like a second. But once he gets going, he's like that type of athlete.
Yeah.
So I was very excited to see him come out. And with him having like a second-round tag, I feel like it's going to be very affordable for him to be acquired by like my team. I want him on the Jags. We need receivers still. I know we signed Christian Kirk. I love Christian Kirk. Zay Jones is cool. I like all these guys.
Marvin Jones is getting older.
Marvin Jones is getting older. I would like to have him just slot in that Marvin Jones spot, him be youthful, add it to the young core.
That's so crazy for me to think about. Like, this kid I used to... I mean, we didn't really hang out, but we were on the team together. Yeah. We did a lot of team things, and he was always a really nice guy, always respectful, humble, never seemed to be, cocky or anything like that. He was clearly probably our best player.
Destined for,
I didn't know back then that he was going down this route, but he's there.
Wake's a good school, too. I'm not going to say, I don't know what his options were. We should definitely go back and track the history a little bit, see what his, recruitment list was and see who he chose. But Wake Forest is a solid option to select to go to. I don't think he was a walk-on or anything. I'm pretty sure he got a scholarship out the gate. Yeah. And this year he has to enter the draft. Actually, no, he's a redshirt senior. So he could technically not enter the draft, play another year. I don't know what the NIL deals are doing for him out there, but this is second episode now we're talking about you being on the field with NFL talent? What happened, Matt? Why could A.T. Perry share a couple inches?
Yeah, I know you texted me that. I don't know, man. I could have been in a different spot right now.
You could have been Julian Edelman. He used to throw that thing. He used to catch that thing. Don't you throw the ball well too? You could have been Julian Edelman.
Nah, I don't know about that. He'd have to give me a little bit of. He'd have to give me some inches, at least 3.
Pause.
Pause. Hold up. Pause. Oh no. Oh.
Hey now. No,
damn it.
And that's a clip. But no,
not clip.
No, but you're right. You need a lot more athleticism and some height.
Yeah. You need more height, athleticism, burst, a little bit of everything. You'd have to be willing to give up.
Yeah. I don't know. It's crazy to think back and think that you're literally on the field with people who are going to do that for that's what they're going to be doing on Sundays.
At least Bryce Young?
Yeah. Just drop another one and be like, oh yeah, he used to play DB for us. Be like, oh, cool.
He was my quarterback in Little League.
I've been on the field with athletes, but they went and played overseas, which is still dope to go play basketball professionally for the rest of your life. It's cool, but it's no
hey, Mr. 3-point specials over here.
NFL. Nah. Chill out. I'm not.
He said if he took 100 shots.
Oh, here we go. You gonna put this on the clip? Okay.
We
can talk about it for a little bit.
He took 100 shots. You did 55% of them.
No, it was 45.
You said 55.
Was it 55? I feel like it was 45.
100%.
Okay. Well, I still lean.
Because I remember telling you, I was like, Steph Curry is max 45.
But you're talking about in-game play. Steph Curry outside the game is 95%.
It's true.
So this is what the argument was. Just standing and shooting around. So I said 55.
Okay.
If I was of course, not cold. If it was my best attempt, I'd say 55%.
What I say? I said a reasonable amount.
Yeah, you said
30.
Yeah, you said 30%.
30.
Yeah, we not really tested it, but I don't know. I don't think it was that far off.
Yeah, I was around 30. Yeah, you were 30.
Yeah, it was rough. Yeah, I still led the group though.
But yeah, A.T. Perry, that's cool. It's different that he calls his name A.T. Perry. He was a Torian Prescott.
Oh, that's amazing.
What?
When I draft him in fantasy, I'm definitely changing his name to Torian Prescott.
Yeah, that was his name.
100%.
I don't know why he changed it, but
imagine them trying to say Torian every Saturday when he catches the ball.
Okay, why not A.T. Prescott? I don't know what changed.
Wait, Perry? Did his mom remarry or did he get adopted? Maybe that's
something must have changed.
Yeah,
maybe that's why his
name is Prescott. He's not Prescott anymore. He's Perry.
I showed you the picture.
Yeah,
his old Facebook profile.
Yeah,
it was Prescott. So
that's interesting. I went to school with Prescott.
Speaking of that, you know that Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott played. Bro, I feel like every week you're just gonna come out of the blue with some new player.
Let me think.
You remember playing with or played while you were here.
The only other people
this area is pretty good for talent. I've realized now.
The only other player,
Jacob Copeland.
That's what I was gonna say. Jacob Copeland from Pine Forest. Now he's not Florida anymore. Now he's at Maryland.
He's actually playing well in Maryland too.
Other than that,
Leatherwood and then now A.T. Perry. That's some solid names. Because Jacob Copeland, I feel like, was like a top 5 receiver in the class when he declared for Florida. He might have been number 1 overall.
Maybe. But other than that, I don't think there's anybody else. Oh, I'd have to look at his name. But at Milton High School, the high school that I came from, there's a kid on that team that is either going to Auburn, Alabama, or LSU. One of those 3 teams.
That's big 3.
Big 3.
That's a big 3.
And I remember I went to school with him.
Mm-hmm.
But he was young, so I think I was like a senior. He was like a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a good kid. And now I just got this random Instagram picture of him signing or committing to one of those teams. And I was like...
Oh, so he recently committed?
Recently committed. Remind me after this, and I'll show you who it is.
Check it out. I want to see where he's at on the list of recruits.
I don't know. We'll see. But apparently he's doing pretty good. And I don't remember if it was O-line or D-line. It was one of those. So.
I was a homie with somebody who played for Navy for 4 years. Pretty cool. The Navy coach came out there at high school, recruited him. He came with the whole, I think it was the Hawaiian coach. He might still be there. But he came with the whole, he wears I don't know what it's called. I don't want to be offensive, but the little, necklace made of flowers. And I feel like that was offensive. I really don't know what it's called.
It probably was offensive.
It probably was, but it's cool. I think it's called a lao or something.
A luau?
No, that's when they cook. See, you're being offensive. That's when they be barbecuing. Stop. We're talking about the flower thing, right? So he came out there, recruited him a couple times, and that was cool. He signed his letter of intent at the high school, and the guy was there. I thought it was always a cool thing. I wasn't even watching football like that at the time, but I was like, damn. But he's about to go play. Well, he's also just enlisting in the Navy, but he got recruited to play for the team, so that was cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
There is one more person I can think of. I don't know him personally, but you know Cam, right? You know Cameron, my friend.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Cam Newton. I was like, hold on, we forgot about Cam Newton. We just talked about him, and now you're gonna bring up Cam Newton.
Not Cam.
Okay. Yeah, I know Cam.
Yeah, Cam. His girlfriend, her aunt's sister or something like that, is related to Patrick Mahomes, and they're going. And they're going to this wedding that Patrick Mahomes actually might be going to.
Really?
Yeah.
Is his?
I'm not even playing.
Is his girlfriend going?
Whose girlfriend?
Cam's girlfriend.
Yeah, they're both going.
Really?
They're both going.
So
because she's from Texas.
Oh.
She's from Texas, so I remember it's not crazy. I think it really is her aunt's sister.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that just make it another aunt?
Yes, correct. But I was gonna let you do your thing. But yeah, that's exactly what aunt sister would be.
It's something like that, or maybe it's her aunt's cousin. I don't know. Fuck it. I don't know. But it's something like that. But yeah, she's going to they're going to this wedding, and I think it's in Texas or something like that.
When is the wedding?
I don't remember. I think it's coming up soon.
If it's during football season, he won't be there.
But I remember them saying that potentially, he might show an appearance.
He's not showing up.
Or maybe he might. You don't know. It's a wedding.
If it's during football season, he's not showing up.
Probably not. But I don't know. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it's next year. But potentially. So I'm trying to get my wave in.
Are you?
I'm trying to
Are you trying to go to this wedding?
I'm trying to go to this wedding. I don't care. Can I be adopted?
You gotta do it for the culture. You gotta interview Pat at the wedding.
I saw her mom the other day. I should have asked her, can I be adopted for a couple days and go out to that wedding? Just for like a couple.
Just for like a couple.
I'll be good. Like I don't have to go up to him and say hi. Maybe just like hello and that's it. And I'll just take some pictures from the other side.
All creepy, just in the corner with the kid.
But it has to be a video where I can see me in it too, to say that I was there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But maybe you could catch him at like, what's it called, the punch table or where they have the food hors d'oeuvres or something. And be like,
oh yeah, if he goes up for food,
yeah.
I can go up like, oh hey, my name is Matthew. What's your name? Act like I don't know.
Yeah, he'd probably be like, what's my name? Okay. All right. What's my name?
Patrick Mahomes.
You think he says his last name when he says his name? He won't just say Patrick?
He might say Patrick, yeah.
What's my name? Patrick Mahomes.
I wonder how
he'll say it like they do it on Sunday night. Patrick Mahomes, Texas Tech.
I could say something like that. I could be like, oh yeah, I went to Texas Tech. We can have something to talk about.
I hope you do that. And then he questions you. Then you have no answers, and you look like even more of a creep.
Or I can just tell him I drafted him in every fantasy league, and I'm really thankful for it.
You know what's the best thing still? Not to get off topic. Well, sure, off topic. Amon-Ra St. Brown, preseason, posted something where somebody DM'd him, telling him that if he drops a pass, run a lap, blah, blah, blah. It's like a thing from a movie. I'll break my leg off in your butt if you blah, blah, blah. So after he snapped one of his games, he's like, couldn't have him break his leg off in my blah, blah, blah. Like, quoting back to the guy who, like, texted him about fantasy. It's pretty great.
That is dope.
Yeah. I would never DM a player that I drafted in fantasy. I'm not a creep.
I wouldn't either. I actually don't have any shares of Patrick Mahomes anyways, so I'd be lying to him if I said that.
That's kind of depressing.
He's a first-round pick. I never could have the chance to get him.
I have him in like 2 leagues. He slipped in some leagues, so I took him late. I have one league where I have Pat Mahomes and Lamar as my quarterbacks. I traded Kirk Cousins in the first next year for Lamar. Feeling pretty good about it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the person was, I guess, rebuilding, and they're like, ooh, the difference in points won't be that different. Lamar was
That's funny.
Okay.
That's funny.
You going to trade me for Kirk?
Lamar just dropped a 60 bomb last other week.
Okay. Yeah.
Nah, he tripping.
I would have
done that deal any day. Bro, why can't I have people like that?
You know what's funny? I thought about it for a second because of the value. I was like, do I want to give away a first-round pick? Kirk might actually be close in scoring. And then I thought about it a little bit more. Like, bro, what am I doing? Let me go ahead and get Lamar to pair with Patrick Mahomes. Like, why am I overthinking this? Yeah. I don't even think I'm undefeated in that league, which is crazy.
The rest of your roster must be trash.
Probably, bro. I think I have JT in the league, too, so it is trash.
It's not trash. That's not... Don't listen to him. But yeah.
This is the first pause ever.
This is the first
pause. Teal and Steel. I could easily pivot this, though. Pivot this, though.
Pivot.
The Raiders.
That was an awful pivot.
No, the Raiders.
Though. You're like, the Raiders.
Are 0-4 now, aren't they?
No, they just won. They beat the Broncos. They beat the Broncos.
So wait, the Broncos are 2-2?
Yeah.
And the Raiders are 1-3.
Yep.
That division still looks like crap. What are they gonna do?
At least though, they finally both teams seem to have got it together a little bit.
They haven't.
What are you talking about?
Horrible. Devontae still had a rough week. That's all I care about. Fantasy.
Did he?
Yeah.
He still got 100 yards and like 8 catches.
It was okay. It's not what I think.
What do you want him to be? You want him to be God?
I want him to be Cooper Kupp. That's what I want him to be. I want him to be Cooper Kupp.
Didn't you take Devontae over Cooper Kupp?
Yes. That's why I want him to be Cooper Kupp. And I also took Stephon Diggs over Cooper Kupp.
No, Stephon's not as bad. This last week, Stephon's not as bad.
What do you mean he's not as bad?
That's not what's
Anybody over Cooper Kupp is bad at this point.
Okay, yeah.
What are we talking about?
But if you said this like last week,
I'd say the same thing.
No.
Yes, I would.
No.
Yes.
Last week, Cooper Kupp dropped like 14.
I don't even want to talk about fantasy. I want to talk about how the Chiefs are going to run away with this division. I thought it was going to be a close one. Everybody sucks.
I mean, I still think it's going to be a little close. I do think there's going to be a lot of nice matchups. I think the Broncos get it figured out. I think the Raiders get it figured out. And I think if you're a Broncos fan and a Raiders fan, you must be really happy with what you just saw.
You must be happy that Justin Herbert's still holding his ribs, too. He played well with the broken ribs last week, though, but still, that's going to hurt coming down the stretch.
Yeah.
He's not going to get a chance to hoop because they're going to keep smacking them ribs. That looked weirder than I expected. I went to say ribs. Oh, man. At least I'm not asking for inches.
No. But no, I think that the division's okay still. I think it's not panic yet. The Broncos are still 2-2. The fact that they have looked this bad and they're still 2-2 is a testament to their defense. But on offense, they looked a little better. Russell Wilson was running the ball himself, a couple scrambles. Good to see. The Raiders looked impressive. And yeah, the Chargers look good. Mike Williams looked good.
Still no Keenan. I don't know when we're going to see him back.
Yeah,
if you drafted Keenan, I'm sorry. Bro.
If you drafted Gerald Everett, like I did.
I did. Places. I picked him up off waivers too in places.
So that division's still fine. I'm not panicking yet. But yeah.
I think that division's bad. I'm not even panicked. I just think they're bad now.
Oh, you know what we should have brought up?
What?
Let's have a moment.
You said we should have. Like it's still not running. Like this isn't still going. But okay, yes. What should we have brought up, Matt?
What'd you say last week about Mike Evans?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Let's have a one-on-one moment right here.
Mr. Mike Evans, I'm not sure if you're watching, but I would like to apologize. I said I would start Tyler Boyd over you in fantasy. I had reasons behind it. It didn't matter. It was stupid reasons. I think you had 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards. You're that guy, and I'd be forgetting sometimes. And that was my fault, and I truly apologize for that. Because I look stupid.
That was a great apology.
Yeah.
And I bet you when he watches this, because he's watching.
Yeah, obviously.
He's watching.
Who wouldn't be watching this?
I think he's going to appreciate that apology. But Mike, if you're watching, I just want to point out, I didn't like it from the beginning. I didn't like that. I told him to look at the camera and to say that again.
Thank God that camera was already off at that point, so I couldn't actually look in the camera and have that close up of me being stupid. We had to see the far shot. Thank God, but it didn't matter. It was stupid.
But I was riding with you, Mike. I was shooting for you.
I mean, sometimes in life you got to take risks. You know, I did. I started Tyler Boyd.
It's a stupid risk. And I like Tyler Boyd. Anyway.
I didn't have Mike Evans in that league. I don't have Mike Evans in any league. I traded him in one league, I think, in a package deal to get Dalvin Cook.
Mike Evans has looked pretty good.
Yeah, when he's been on the field, he has, for the most part.
He dropped his... Yeah, I mean, he had one game missing, but other than that, he's dropped 2 20-point games.
Yeah.
A teen game, so like somewhere like 15-ish.
Yeah. So, I do apologize for that bad take, but I have another take this week.
Oh, hold on. Before you do that, I have to apologize to somebody. I've been giving a lot of hate to.
Go ahead.
All right. Austin Eckler.
Oh, no.
Come forth.
You did ask him for a one-on-one last week.
Did I?
Yeah. You're like, let's talk.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk, Austin. Because, he's watching, too.
Yeah.
I just want to apologize. 3 touchdowns. I'm the fool. I'm an idiot.
We knew that already.
I'm an idiot. I should have known. I was worried. I'm not going to lie. I was worried, but now there's a little bit of hope. And I dropped. This is my best week of fantasy yet. And you were a part of 2 of those games for me. So I apologize. Hopefully you forgive me. I'm an idiot. I'm stupid. Okay.
Yeah, we did talk about that whole running back thing and how you agreed with Dave. You agreed with Dave.
No. I'm gonna be real with you. I still don't think you're the best athlete when it comes to running backs. But
you also said that boy was slow. That's crazy.
Yeah, he did. You are a little slow.
Oh my God!
Don't have a huge burst to you.
Oh my God!
But
you didn't even take it back. You had the opportunity.
No, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh
that's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling. But I drafted him for the fantasy world. Thank you. For the real world, I don't really care.
Oh my gosh, Fred, you're still being disrespectful. You know what's one take that we've had so far that's coming to fruition too?
Mm-hmm.
Curtis Samuel over Terry McLaurin. I said that I would play him over Terry.
But Curtis Samuel just had a bad week.
14.2.
He had a 7-point game.
You know how much Terry had?
How much?
3. So,
what do you think is going on? Do you think it's just people are emphasizing so much on Terry?
No. I think it's a Carson Wentz thing again. He rears his ugly head. He sucks. We knew this. He looked good for a week and a half. And now it's back to Carson running for his life. The offensive line's not that great. Curtis Samuel's easier to get the ball to in those short stints. They'll get him involved in other ways. Terry McLaurin is supposed to be the X receiver. He's supposed to run the deep routes, run the crossing routes, like going past the line of scrimmage, past the line to gain, I meant to say, and be that deep threat. And Carson doesn't have enough time to get it out there. So they use Curtis in so many ways that he's going to get his 3 to 4 receptions, even if it's for 10 to 15 yards. The only targets that Terry going to get, if he catches those, are nice. But
so would you still start Curtis Samuel?
Yeah, I have no love lost for Curtis in fantasy. I'm worried about Terry though. This is coming up on another year of underwhelming performances.
has good games, then has some.
And he hasn't had a boom game in since his rookie year, and you're counting it as like a boom game because you were able to pick him up off waivers his rookie year. Now you're drafting him, expecting him to have a couple of those 16 plus, 18 plus point games, and you're not getting that. And I don't think you're going to get much of it this year. Now, seeing that I said that now, this week he's going to cook Trevor Diggs. I'm going to look stupid, but as of now,
Trevor Diggs hasn't looked bad either.
No, he heard people talking that smack, and he's been shut down. Not just ball hawk, but ball hawk and shut down.
He's been playing pretty solid.
Yeah.
This is a tough matchup, though.
Michael Parsons also. Wait, that's not this week. I just realized that was last week. I'm tripping. This was the week for him to burn Trayvon Diggs, and he didn't do it. The Rams play Dallas this week. So, Cooper Kupp, 27 receptions for 80 yards.
27 receptions for
27 receptions for 80 yards and a touchdown. Allen Robinson, 1 reception in actual gameplay. Probably 7 targets, 1 more reception when it's garbage time and the Rams are already losing. It's clockwork at this point. And then Cowboys dub. Which I'm going to give you all the parlay to win you a lot of money.
Wait. We ain't going to let that slide. So you said the Cowboys are going to be
the Rams.
Which is another thing we haven't talked about.
Yes.
We can talk about your parlay first, but let's go back to the Cowboys for a moment.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Cowboys, positive money this week. Jets against the... Who do the Jets play? We just mentioned it. Jets against Miami. No Tua. They're also positive money this week. I like those two guys parlayed together. And if you're feeling really spicy, you could throw Cincy in there. That's also plus money this week. If you put $20 on it, I think it's plus $14.20. So you will win $400. So if you put $20, you win $400 with those 3 teams.
Don't do that.
Enjoy money.
Don't do that.
You're welcome.
Don't do that.
Why not?
I don't like any of those.
I just gave you a winning. I
think that Cooper Rush, which is kind of going into the thing I wanted to talk about. This man's 4-0.
About to go 5-0?
Are we really thinking this man's about to go 5-0?
No.
You just said he was.
But do I actually think that? No.
So, Cooper Rush, I don't love that. You're putting your bank in a lot on a backup quarterback. Not about
All right, let me get real with you.
No, let me go on. And then the Miami game versus the Jets. This is still one of the best wide receiver cores.
You feel like Teddy Bridgewater?
Teddy Bridgewater is probably one of the most competent backup quarterbacks you can have in this league.
I don't know about that.
Who would you say is a better backup quarterback than Teddy Bridgewater?
Cooper Rush.
Okay, Cooper Rush. Who else?
I don't know backup quarterbacks like that. I love
exactly.
Them all, but
exactly. So for me, yeah, Miami versus the Jets. I don't love it. Teddy Bridgewater is still a competent backup. Got one of the best wide receiver cores in the league. A pretty good defense too. No, and then you got the Bengals. I got the Ravens.
So how about this? I'm gonna put in both bets. I'm gonna put $5 on my parlay, which could win me $100. I think with $5. I'm gonna put $5 on your parlay, which I think will win me
So I'm going
Ravens,
okay.
Rams. Yeah, because they play the Cowboys. Ravens, Rams, and Miami. And I'm going the opposite 3.
Okay.
And we'll see. If both miss, that's fine. We'll see who gets more correct. Be a fun talking point next week.
Okay.
But I said I didn't like Cooper Rush. It's not even about Cooper Rush. It's about that Rams offensive line that's down starters that I just saw get torched by Nick Bosa. And now they got to face Michael Parsons. And now in the secondary, instead of guys that we really don't know who the secondary for the Niners are like that, it's Trayvon Diggs. That's my stance. That's who I'm worried about. I think it'll be a low-scoring game. I think the under on that's a pretty good bet, honestly. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Miami versus the Jets. I think Zach and the Jets offense is going to look good against Miami's defense.
I think he might look good, but I think that they'll be able to get the... I mean, Teddy, all he needs to do is throw some slants out to
Waddle.
I
thought so, too. But couldn't do that last week.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, she kind of just used your pets real quick and then dipped.
She almost, took this thing with her. This would have been a whole disaster.
Yeah, it would have been a big cut moment. But yeah,
so Waddle and Tyreek, all he has to do is throw a slant, give it to them. I'm not worried about it. I like my bet. Yeah, we'll like that.
Now what is secondary?
Is Marlon Humphreys playing?
Yeah. That's all you need?
I mean, that's not all I need, but...
I don't know, man.
So, okay. So, our bet for the week, though.
Yes.
Is the Bengals and the Ravens, or is it that parlay?
Well, it's the parlay.
Okay, so we'll do the parlay.
Yeah.
We'll see who got the most right. And what's our record right now? I think I'm like 11-3 with you.
Not since we started recording shows.
So I'm 2-0 then.
Yes.
About to be 3 now. But yeah.
That easy, huh?
That easy.
You got any props for me on Thursday that you like now that you've thought about it? No?
No props on Thursday.
Still don't rock with none of them?
Don't rock.
Hey.
None of them.
Just like last week. We went 2 for 3 last week.
Let's talk about something real quick. Thursday, football.
Yes.
It was funny the first week for me to try to get the game on. I was like an old head. I was confused.
With Amazon Prime?
I didn't know where to go. I went on YouTube TV because that's what I use typically.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's that?
Yeah.
Where's that? Then I looked it up.
It
was Amazon Prime. I don't have Amazon Prime. So it was confusing for me at first. I just wanted to say that.
Stream East. You didn't hear me say that, though. The Stream East. It's the easiest
I haven't tried using that, but it doesn't work for me.
How not? We'll hook you up. Because it's the easiest thing on the planet to use.
Clearly it's not.
You also can't use the ESPN Fantasy app.
I click the game, watch. Doesn't pop up.
How not?
It brings me over to this other page. And
and then you got to close that page out and go back. And just tap play and it plays.
I tried that.
Yeah.
I did try that.
I don't know, man.
All right,
bro. Works for me, but not you. I still like Moali Cox, 17.5. I still love me some Jerry Jeudy, 47.5. We'll put 2 of those in the parlay on Prize Picks. If you want to do Prize Picks, if I feel like it on this one, I'll drop my code in the bottom in the description. You could get a dollar for dollar match up to $100 on Prize Picks if you decide to play with us. Matt did it. Hit last week. He didn't even mention that he hit last week. You did hit on the Miami and the Bengals game. You turned like 5 to 50 or 25 into 50 on Prize Picks.
Oh, I did?
You forgot. But yeah.
Oh, you're right, because I did. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you did it, and you turned some money over. So
yeah, because I be hitting. He don't be hitting a lot. I be hitting. You should be listening to what I say. So if I say don't do Thursday, I probably wouldn't do Thursday.
I might be petty and throw a clip up of me hitting, because I have videos.
Good for you.
Of proof.
I be hitting all kinds of things.
Oh, guys. Okay, and on that note, Moali Cox, 17.5 over. Jerry Jeudy, 47.5 over. This has been Teal and Steel episode 4, week 4 of the NFL. I got the Jags beating Houston next week. Matt, what do you think going to happen with your team?
Jags are definitely beating the Houston Texans.
But I asked about your team. I know the Jags.
Oh, who we playing?
Okay, and on that note,
should I look real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. We'll give you a chance to take a quick peek. It's the Bills. I remembered for you. Never mind. They play the Bills in Buffalo. It'll be a long day. To show you betting wise, I know you still don't know much about betting. The Bills are a negative 900 favorite against your team.
We are going to get stomped by the Bills.
Yeah. If I put $100, I think I win 90 cents is what that means.
Okay. So you should.
Anyway.
So what happens if you put 100 on the Steelers?
That's a decent payout.
Would you do it?
No.
I wouldn't.
Not 100. Not to 5. That defense is still pretty solid, but no, not risking it.
Unless Kenny Pickett just turns into some monster, then
touchdowns all over the field.
Yeah.
Jags beat Houston. Pittsburgh, I'll pray for you. Jerry Jeudy, 47.5. Moali Cox, 17.5. We'll see y'all on the next one. And peace.